Hey everybody, it's DIY Coach Al over here at Lawn Care and Home Repair, and I am not having a good experience with my back lawn. I have been dealing with significant fungus over here, and I promise you, I have been using my fungicide program, keeping it on point, rotating the group 3 and the group 11, the azoxystrobin and the propiconazole. I think the azoxystrobin is group 11. The propiconazole, I use Eagle and Gunner. Those are group 3. Keeping those rotated. And I have been having the dickens of a time trying to keep this fungus at bay. I was in New York Friday, excuse me, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It's about, it's Sunday afternoon, maybe 5 o'clock or so. And before I left, I really wanted to hit it with a combination of the azoxy and the propiconazole, but because of what the weather was, they were calling for rain. And part of the problem that I've been having over here, and many of us over here on the East Coast, I've been talking to a few YouTubers and just people who kind of go to YouTube to get advice alike. And we all have been kind of dealing with the same thing this summer. It has been unusual. I don't remember the last summer. I'm 59 years old in a few months, and I've lived in this area all my life. I'm trying to think of the last time that we got a summer that had this much rain. Now, we know that June, July, August time period, we're going to get a lot of heat and humidity. But what devastated us this summer is that the month of June through the first 2 weeks of July, we just got hit, inundated with a deluge of rain, and it waterlogged the roots. So it also already didn't allow those roots to get oxygen, which is what your plant needs in order for it to thrive and be healthy. So it was waterlogged, and then so much of that rain. I know in my instance, I started seeing leaf spot and melting out for sure. But eventually, after I did my fungicide, I started seeing even more. Definitely brown patch. I know I had Pythium and dollar spot for sure. So I'm dealing with all 5 of those. As I said, it's okay. Excuse me. Between the azoxy and the propiconazole, that should be enough, and that earliest you can put another round down is about 14 days, the latest 28 days. But after we got so much water, we also then got a lot of heat and a lot of humidity. So before I went out of town the other day, I was listening to Mr. Ferguson. He always just gives really good advice. I was listening to Mr. Ferguson, and he was referencing a study from the University of University of North Carolina. No, it was NC State. My apologies. It was NC State. A study that showed gray leaf spot, Pythium, and brown patch being the 3 most fungi, however you say that, that's specific to us cool season grass folk, us with the Kentucky bluegrass, perennial rye, in my case, turf type tall fescue. But those 3 in particular hit us. And the study also referenced how gray leaf spot in particular can do a lot of damage when the temperatures remain at night above 72 degrees Fahrenheit and stay above 86 degrees Fahrenheit, in addition to it being waterlogged. I'm going to actually put the study, not the study, I'm going to put his video right over here. I encourage you, I implore you, watch that video. It answered a lot of questions about why, in spite of what I'm doing, my watering, my fungicide, I think I put some sea kelp in it a few weeks ago. Also did the Moisture Max that has the bionutrients in it, in addition to helping to break up that surface tension to allow water to get down, because we were then hit with the drought. And so anyway, it's just been a lot going on over here. So based upon that study, at least, thank you, Mr. Ferguson. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you going to that site, getting that information. And Mr. Ferguson talks about NC State and Pete over at GCI and how he will reference them because, you know, they're the professionals here. We're YouTubers. But I'm hoping that now at least I know what's going on. Honestly, guys, can Coach Al be honest with you? I was starting to feel like maybe I don't know as much as I thought I did because I've never dealt with fungus like this before. Now, last year, because we had so much rain, then so much heat come back to back that way, I had an issue with my front yard. And that's the one that I'm putting the cultivars, new cultivars down now, the GCI and the night shift. But at least now I know what's going on over here. I'm starting to think maybe there's a different fungus that I'm just not aware of. I mean, there's so many from dollar spot to melting out. There are just so many different funguses or fungi that you can get hit with. So I just thought maybe I'm missing something here. So as a result of catching up with that video from Mr. Ferguson last week, Mr. Ferguson, that's exactly what's happening in my yard. I did look at everything, researched it. I am absolutely positively dealing with that gray leaf spot, that Pythium, and that brown patch. The dollar spot seemed to have dissipated, or it's been kept at bay with the fungicide regimen. So it's just interesting to see how, and I think based upon what Mr. Ferguson said, or based upon what the author said over at NC State, when the conditions are right, new spores can develop literally within a matter of days. And when I went to New York, I looked at over here. I'm going to actually show you what's going on because it just doesn't look good. But I looked over there at a particular spot before I went out of town because I said I'm going to use this as a measure point because I knew I had the fungicide down. And when I came back this afternoon, I looked at that same area and I can see where the fungus has spread. So for the most part, the fungicide that I put down either didn't work or that fungus was just so active. So I'm going to now hit it. What you just saw me mixing up was the Azoxy 2SC, and I'm actually putting this down at the curative rate. And also this is the Eagle 20 EW. So I put it down at I'm going to put this down at a curative rate. The curative rate is usually higher than the preventative rate. I'm going to go ahead and put a surfactant in here because I actually want this to get on the blade. So what I'm going to do, I know I have a flood jet on my tip on. So I'm going to actually put a fan tip on, but I'm going to apply it heavier because I want it to get on the blade, but and I'm not going to water in for another maybe 48 hours. It's not calling for rain over here. So I'm going to put it down heavy enough so it's going to get to the soil, but it's going to also stick to the blade. So I'm going to go and put this down. I think I'm going to put some dye in here because I definitely want to make sure that this is getting everywhere. So I'm going to put this down, mix it up, put this down. Always make sure you have on your PPE. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, take a little B-roll, I'm sorry, of me putting it down. I'm going to show you what it looks like. But I had initially thought, well, I'm not going to do a fall pre-emergent with the prodiamine. That's the one that I have. I said, well, I'm thinking maybe do the pre-emergent or maybe overseed. But because so much, this is not coming back. That's the difference between a fungus like melting out, like brown patch. When it's gone, it's gone, and you're going to have to reseed. But so much of it has to be reseeded that it's just not possible for this to grow back. I don't have a spreading fescue. I have a bunching fescue. So that means that when it's destroyed, it's just not going to laterally spread like your Bermuda or some of the other southern grasses. Now, there are some spreading cool season grasses out here. I don't have that. I am going to put the GCI down. I know that is somewhat of a spreading cultivar, but I'm going to have to now forego my winter, my fall pre-emergent. And the fall pre-emergent especially is intended to keep that POA out, because that's that weed that's going to come when the temperatures get cooler. So I'm going to do a big overseeding here. So hopefully that POA is going to stay at bay long enough to allow this grass to get planted. And I know next season, growing season, next spring, I'll probably have to deal with some post-emergent, but I don't have a choice because there's too much of the grass that's been destroyed for me not to have to do a reseed. So I'm gonna put some dye in here. I'm gonna mix it up, the dye, go out there and spray, but I'm gonna come back and show you exactly what this gray leaf spot, this Pythium, and this brown patch has done to my yard. Be right back. Hey guys, this is coming down off my deck, and as you can see, this was actually the first spot that got hit. Now this is actually in two spots. It was damaged there, then a little grass over here, then damaged there. But I thought I was only dealing with a little bit of this brown patch, excuse me, a little bit of this brown patch and the dollar spot and the Pythium. But then as I would come out, I would start to see it spread even more. So what's happened is that it's just really spread over the entire yard. And I mean, the yard is not totally destroyed. I mean, but you see, I definitely wanted you to see this. This is what happens when you're trying to keep a good yard, and you see other people's grass, as Mr. Ferguson said the other day. You can see their grass looks green, but that's because they have weeds. It's not pure grass like we have over here. And weeds turn green in the heat. It's just like summer grass, like your zoysia and your St. Augustine and your Bermuda. But you can see throughout the yard, there are spots where this gray leaf spot just really came up and did damage. The gray leaf spot, the brown patch, this is what it looks like. And over here is where I looked out my window before I went to New York, and this was not nearly this bad. But I can see where it's spread. Now, I would have cut the grass before I put this down. Two things. One, Spicy is still in the hospital, and then the belt came off of Little Mama, and I just didn't have time to put it back on. But I just wanted to get this fungicide down so that I can stop what's been happening in my yard. I give you guys my word. I absolutely hate coming out here seeing my yard look like this. You guys know what my grass typically looks like. I'll run some B-roll up there so you can see what the yard normally looks like. Even this time of year last year, I didn't deal with this. And of course, when you get this kind of weather, you're going to deal with that. That's yellow nutsedge right there. So I'm going to hit that with some sulfentrazone to deal with that. But for the most part, yeah, this has to be overseeded. There's no way possible for me to do a pre-emergent when you have this kind of damage to the grass. So this is another reason why I was so close to just burning all of this up and just doing a renovation. It's just a lot of work to do that renovation, and doing 10,000 square feet all at once. It's no picnic. So I'm not going to do that. But I wanted to show you guys what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and throw now that fungicide down. Hey, everybody. So I went ahead and got that azoxy and that propiconazole down. And what I noticed is that a lot of what I showed you is definitely disease, but some of that I realized is also just heat stress, because we have been dealing with a drought over here now for, well, I don't want to say it's a drought. It's been extremely hot temperatures and not that much rain, although I do have an irrigation system. I just haven't really been running it much. So some of that was heat stress, but got both products down. At this point, what I'm trying to do is stop the progression of that fungus. As I said before, I'm not going to recover what was lost. I looked at it thoroughly and it is just damaged all the way down, I'm sure, down to the root. So hopefully this application will stop the spreading. The temperatures are already starting to go down a little bit. We are at the beginning of August now. So what I'm going to do is make sure I'm checking my soil temperatures to see when it's ready, right there about that 75-degree mark. And I think what I may do is my overseeding over here and my new seeding on the front at the exact same time. But the videos that are going to be coming out in the near future, they're not going to show that luscious, lush green lawn. You guys are going to see the struggles. Hey, we have to take the good with the bad. There's a saying that some days you get the bear and some days the bear gets you. And that lawn disease, that bear got me over the last 3 or 4 weeks. But hey, it's all part of learning. I learned early on in my life that no matter what happens, it's an opportunity to learn a lesson. And just so you guys can know something about DIY Coach Al, I literally don't believe in the concept of failure. I do believe in setbacks along the progression of the goal to which you're trying to achieve, but I don't believe in failure. This isn't a failure. This is an opportunity to learn. And guess what? It's an opportunity for me to show you guys what I've learned so that you can learn from my mistakes, my successes. So you guys do me a favor. If this content means anything to you, please hit that like and subscribe button. You guys already got me over the 1,000 member mark. You got me over the 4,000 watch hours. I cannot tell you how filled my heart is. I am so appreciative of it. I have some really good things coming. You guys, for those of you who tune into the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Hey, you guys hit the notification button so that you can be notified when I post that next video. Someone said the other day, Alfonso, I subscribe because I like what you say at the end of your videos. And what I say, I mean it. I'll tell you the same thing that I told her. I literally live my life trying to be a blessing to others because I believe that you pay it forward. And when you can help somebody who can't help you in return, it's such a wonderful feeling. Yes, I'm a very religious man. I'm a retired pastor, but still believe in my God and my Christ. So I believe in the law of reciprocity. When you give, it'll be given back unto you. But when you keep that fist closed and you keep your talents to yourself, it's not going to come back to you. So on purpose today, if you can, reach down and try to pick somebody else up. DIY Coach Al out. If nobody told you today, let me be the first to tell you, I really do love you. Enjoy the rest of your day.